Hello, I'm Plumpy from WhatCulture.com, and what just happened? Now we're doing this in front of the green screen again because we want to get this out immediately to say that Baron Corbin is Mr. Money in the Bank, Carmella is Mrs. Money in the Bank, and well now. Okay, so Money in the Bank 2017. It's going to divide people, and you're either going to think it's fine or the worst pay-per-view in a very, very long time. So let's just start off by something that everyone agrees with. Let's just start on something that everyone's got common ground upon, which is that AJ Styles versus Nakamura is the goddamn match. That is the match. It's official. It's the match. Whether it's a SummerSlam, whether it's a WrestleMania, Styles Nakamura is all I care about now. Their standoff was absolutely amazing. The St. Louis crowd absolutely agreed. Oh, by the way, credit to the St. Louis crowd. You don't often, people blame crowds for a lot of things, but that crowd tried its best. Apart from one match, Fashion Police versus The Ascension, St. Louis, other than that, they gave that pay-per-view their all, despite the fact that the bookers may not have felt exactly the same about them. So let's dissect the things that people are going to disagree on. Let's start with the juiciest one, the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match, hyped with a historic first time ever video package. No longer Jimmy Snuka and Ric Flair, now it's Tamina Snuka and Charlotte Flair, not Bret Hart anymore, now it's Natalya. That match was won by a man pulling down the briefcase and dropping it to the helpless woman below. Now, okay, I genuinely am going to look at this in two sides, okay? I'm going to look at the pros and cons of both ways you can look at this. On one side, it was a heel cheating to win with the help of their awful, loathsome manager in a move that has gotten a lot of people legitimately angry. And has drawn all focus immediately on SmackDown on Tuesday. So that is what it is. You could describe it as that. But look at the optics of it. If the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, the first ever one, way back, years and years and years ago, would you have been happy if that had been won by a heel manager? Would you have called BS if the first ever men's Money in the Bank ladder match had been won by, I don't know, if Miz was in it and Alex Riley had climbed up and grabbed the briefcase for him? You'd have thought, well, this finish doesn't match the pomp and ceremony, does it? No, it doesn't. And it's got a lot of people riled. Whether or not that heat is useful, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that personally for me, I wasn't a fan. Wasn't a fan of the fact that the end of the match was a bunch of referees arguing whilst James Ellsworth proclaimed that Carmella won and no one did a thing about it. All the amazing women on the roster were just like, oh. And the fans were like, oh. So that's not really ideal, considering that the whole James Ellsworth pulling the briefcase down, that would have been absolutely perfect as a false finish. Let's say that Daniel Bryan or Shane McMahon comes out to say, this is a women's Money in the Bank ladder match. That briefcase is going to be pulled down by a woman. Restart the damn match. Nope. Just ended kind of damp and confusing. Then you went straight on to the tag match, which has so many lovely little bits. People genuinely weren't sure which way it was going to go. The false finishes were brilliant. You really leaned in, and then it ended on a count out. And that's fine. Honestly, in isolation, that is fine. New Day versus Usos is a feud that has got great legs. It should be extended. The Usos look like cowards. New Day look like they should have won. But it's just that after that match with Carmella and James Ellsworth, just read the room. that's like, fans generate criticism in like waves. If you don't give them anything to latch onto, they will just like, the momentum will take over and they will just trash the pay-per-view. So then we moved on to Lana versus Naomi. Again, the finish, like, first of all, 1, 2, 3, the first 3 matches felt like they all ran short. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match didn't really have a hugely memorable spot other than Charlotte doing her flip off the top. Other than that, there wasn't like a hugely memorable ladder spot, was there? I can't remember it. Second of all, the Usos versus New Day felt like, I mean, there were some brilliant things in the finish, but it felt like it could have gone a bit longer. Naomi versus Lana, it felt like, you know, like it was clumsy. Like Lana's definitely kind of still growing in the ring, but like there was some hard hitting sort of stuff. I could have seen more. And then Carmella and James Ellsworth come out. She threatens to cash in, doesn't. That doesn't end up being a distraction for Lana because she ends up kind of going back to do offensive on Naomi. And then after that, Naomi catches her and forces a tap out. So it wasn't like Carmella's interference it wasn't like brilliant storytelling. I just don't know about this pay-per-view. I really don't. Like, you can't say that there isn't lots of storytelling, lots of storyline advancement going on, but it's all just so unsatisfying. So then we've got, right in the middle of the pay-per-view with 2 hours left to go, the WWE Championship match before the briefcase match, and the champion coming out first. The crowd were molten for this match because obviously hometown boy Randy Orton. They did a thing with the dads, just the old St. Louis dads. So Singh brothers got in dad's face, Randy Orton killed them, and then the slam and the weak looking slam, and Jinder retained. You know, the match was fine. I thought the match was really pedestrian apart from the crowd. It is what it is. Oh, and Maria returned with Mike Bennett, who's now Mike Kanellis. Forgot that bit. I realised that while I'm editing. Yeah, it was good. Good to see Maria back. She's really improved. I hope she'll be great. Okay, cool. Back to me, I guess. Then you had the Fashion Files versus the Ascension. The crowd didn't care about this, and neither did I. Then the main event. The main event, which was really, really good. Really, really good. Like, no one really emerged from this looking bad except maybe Kevin Owens. I really like Baron Corbin jumping Nakamura. I was worried about Nakamura being taken to the back and missing some of the match, but when he came back, he was on fire. Sammy looked great. He was taking everybody out at one point. Baron Corbin looks sneaky, and he's got the briefcase now, which is the perfect prop for him. He is a evil, conniving heel, and the briefcase is the perfect way to demonstrate that. Nakamura looked great, and yes, AJ Styles versus Nakamura is the match. That is what everyone needs to see. AJ climbing up the cable and then just falling smack on his face. He's brilliant. He is so good at everything he does. The exchange he had with Nakamura running for the Kinshasa and then the phenomenal elbow into that. Brilliant. AJ Styles doing the springboard elbow off and onto that. Brilliant. AJ Styles giving the AA to Kevin Owens. AJ Styles is brilliant, isn't he? God, I love AJ Styles. I love AJ Styles. Corbin won in a bit of a flat ending. You kind of want a big spot to end a ladder match, not just pushing two guys off and then Corbin just climbs up and fiddles with the belt for a little bit. So, Money in the Bank is done. Lot of people are very cross. A lot of people heralding it as the worst pay-per-view of all time. I don't know. I haven't really made up my mind. Like, a lot of the booking was really unsatisfying. Like, in kayfabe, what an awful time to be a fan. What an awful time. What good happened? Naomi retained. There you go. That's it. The whole night. Not counting the pre-show. Welcome back, Zack Ryder. Some really dodgy finishes. I thought that Carmella, like, if you're going to have Ellsworth help Carmella, does he have to take the briefcase down for her? Could you not have, like, pushed the ladder over and then just, like, shouldered her up the ladder so she at least brings it down? Could you not have had the match restarted and then Carmella win that as well as a sort of, like, false finish double bluff? Did he have to get the case and just drop it down? It feels like trolling. It really does. It feels like WWE just like, ha ha, you want a women's ladder match? You got it. Won by a bloke. Santina Morella, your ghost lives on. Then count out, and then weird Carmella finish. Then no one cares about the Fashion Police. I didn't really care for the Orton Mahal match. And some brilliant stuff in the main event. Ultimately, that doesn't add up to much of a pay-per-view. Especially Money in the Bank, which is genuinely, along with the Royal Rumble, one of the highlights of the year, because it's where they earmark, like, these are the stars of the future. These are people we're investing in. We are laying groundwork, serious storytelling groundwork. And they did lay some storytelling stuff in there. It just left everyone pissed off. Ultimately, main event was great. But yeah, didn't have much fun with this one. I'm Plumpy from WhatCulture.com, and that's what just happened.